What's up, Nerdyverse? I'm Daddy Louie, and in this video, we're taking a look at a game called Salt and Sail, so stick around. Before we get started, if you're new to our channel and you want to see more content like this, start now by hitting the subscribe button and the bell icon so you don't miss any future videos. Salt and Sail is an upcoming Kickstarter. It is being published by Kazudu Games. It is slated for 2 to 4 players. It plays in about 60 to 90 minutes, and it is recommended for ages 12 and up. The game takes place during the great time of sea exploration, and you will be playing against your friends, your opponents. Each of you will take on the role of a captain. You will set sail in the 7 seas to discover things, encounter pirates, and try and collect as much fame and gold as you can before the last discovery is made, which will trigger the end game and decide who the winner is based on who has amassed the most fame and fortune. So the question on everyone's mind is, but is it good? Let's go to the table and find out. Before we get too deep into the review, I do want to note that this is a prototype copy, so everything that you see here is, of course, subject to change when the game comes out. It's going up on Kickstarter this coming up week on March the 10th, and you'll be able to get your copy there. But I really do dig the art on the front of the box. It kind of has half of a finished photo here, or a portrait, and then the other half is just a sketch, kind of showing that, everything is, uncoverable, if you will. But, inside the actual box, this thing is loaded with goodies. And by goodies, I mean a lot of different really cool components. So let's take a look. So as you can see, we do have a lot of different components. We'll run through them really quickly. Perhaps one of the most important components that we need is, of course, our captain. The game does include many different types of captains, and that will depend on what actions your captain can take, or what you can do on your turn to be able to complete objectives. But you see here we have a bunch of fortune seekers, but then we also have a naturalist, a buccaneer, and a scholar. I'm sure that the game will release more of these soon, but these are the ones that you start with. Everyone chooses one. You kind of do a drafting type thing, starting with the first player. The next most important thing, of course, is our ships. The ships are on these cards here. Everybody would start with a basic ship. Each of these are the parts of the ship, or to denote the sections of the ship. Your officer would go here, your captain goes up at the top. You also have your equipment and your treasure, and then up here, this is the amount of you'd put your crew members in these spaces, and I'll explain that a little more in a second. But your middle section here, however many crew you have in this part of the ship here, that's how fast your ship can go when you make a move action. Here is how many tokens you can pull from your bag when trying to make a discovery and doing other types of actions. And then down here is basically your storage, where your rations and stuff would go. You can, of course, upgrade your ship. So once you have money to spend, you can upgrade your ship. You can see the difference between the basic ship and a more advanced ship there, with the amount of crew that you can take on, and how much it costs is right up here in the top left. There's a couple different versions of that, and so on and so forth. So the more money you're willing to invest in your ship, the more that you'll be able to do and take on your turn. The game also does use quite a bit of tokens. You have your ducats, or your gold pieces, that you'll use to denote how much gold you have. You also have your crew tokens, your ration tokens, and some damage tokens as well. You also have your action tokens. This is a pretty unique part of the game, which I'll explain in just a minute. And then you have your ship tokens. All of these are pretty much the same. They just have different colors on their flags with the little standees for you to denote your color. And then your discovery tokens. These are the tokens that get shuffled up and then placed on the map before the start of the game. And these are basically what you're trying to beat your opponent to and find is these discoveries. And then, of course, you have your map tiles. It's a very modular game. They call the map section the Atlas. So depending on the scenario that you'll play, you'll start with your town or your port, and then you will build your map based on what the Atlas says. You also have your bags. The bags are what you would put your action tokens in before the start of the game, and you're going to draw them out randomly. Again, I'll explain that in just a minute. And then, of course, you have all of your cards, your officers, your rumors, and your discoveries. Now, because the game has a long play time, like I said, 60 to 90 minutes, I don't want to go through a full game, show you how to play. Obviously, the video would be too long. The developers have a very nice kind of how to play video guide that's already out there. I will link that in the description below. But what I do want to do is explain to you guys some of the different mechanics that I found in this game that I haven't found in other games, just to kind of explain to you guys what this game is all about versus other games that may be out on the market. So I've set up a little demo area here. This is not in the rule book or anything like that. This is just me throwing some tiles together. This is the port that everybody would start at. So your ships would start in a starting port like we have set up here. And based on the scenario that you choose, you're also going to have discovery tokens. And the discovery tokens that the game comes with, you would shuffle up, and then you're going to place them where it says to place them based on the Atlas. You're also going to have these encounter tokens that are also going to be placed. And that's some things that you can encounter, like pirates, natural disasters, and things like that. And you're doing that for the gold and the glory as well. Like I said, everybody starts with a ship. You start with a certain number of crew, and you start with a number of ducats. And then the gameplay begins with the first player taking 2 actions. So obviously one of the actions they can take is to sail. So again, based on their ship card, they would have crew. I believe everybody starts with 2 crew, and then you can, of course, recruit more crew as the game goes on. And you'd place those crew members where you want them to be on your ship. So let's say I put one in the movement area and one in the skill bag area. So my turn, I would just start to spend actions to move. Once I do reach a discovery, I reveal it to myself, and I look at the symbols. This is like a little seahorse and a whale. And I'm trying to match these symbols up with the rumors that I've discovered out on the ports. So there are a deck of rumor cards, and these rumor cards look like this. And on the rumor card, let me focus in on this so you can see. On the rumor card, you will see a symbol. You'll also see a number. You'll see the skill that needs to be completed in order to match that. And then you're going to see a symbol where if you don't match it, what happens, right? So what does all that mean? So I found this discovery token, which has a seahorse. And one of the rumors that I heard in town was also a seahorse symbol. And these will be laid out on the table, and you'll also have them in your hand as well. So this is either a public rumor that everybody knows about or a hidden one that's in my hand. But let's say I want to go ahead and try and make this discovery. Well, in order to make this discovery, I need to be able to perform a feat skill. So there's great feats and standard feats. This is a standard feat symbol. So I would go over to my bag, which would be pre-filled with my skill tokens, and I would draw a skill token. And if the skill token that I draw is a feat that matches this, I would make this discovery. So I would go into the discovery deck, which is over here, and I would find discovery number 28. And, oh, it's just right there on top. So I would discover Niagara Falls. So this would then become mine. When I discover Niagara Falls, I immediately gain 4 ducats, which goes into my bank, and I immediately earn 5 fame points. Now, I can use those ducats to upgrade my ship, recruit officers, recruit more crew, and basically that's kind of the thing that, in my opinion, separates this game from other games, because you can decide how you want to go about achieving your objective. So here, let me refocus that. So everybody has the same goal, right? To find all of the discoveries. And actually, you don't have to find all of the discoveries. The finding the last discovery is what triggers the end game. So once all of the discoveries have been made, you trigger the end game, and everybody adds up their fame and their ducats. But you don't have to go immediately to a discovery. You could go over to an encounter as well and go up against, let's see, where are my encounter cards? So you'd also have an encounter deck. So once you land on an encounter, you would draw one of these cards, and you'd see here, like, this is a storm. So I would have to encounter a storm. Again, I'm drawing from my skill bag, and if I draw a feat, then I succeed at surpassing the storm, and I would gain a ducat for doing that. If I failed, then I'm going to take damage to I'm going to take on fire and lose some supplies and stuff like that. So I feel like I'm doing a really bad job at explaining how this game works, but essentially you're spending your turn exploring the map, trying to upgrade your ship if you so choose, trying to make discoveries if you so choose, trying to go through some encounters if you so choose. That's kind of the theme of the game here, is the developers, the creators of this game really wanted you to feel like you were truly exploring the 7 seas. You were going up against pirates. You were making these great discoveries. Like, just look at some of the discoveries here. Like, we discovered Niagara Falls, a rubber tree plant, a koala, a cactus, the Great Wall. So these will have art on them once the game is finished. But, just that's kind of what the designers are going for here. They really want you to feel like an open world exploration game. If you've ever played an open world video game before, that's really the feeling that they're trying to bring to the tabletop. All right, I know that was a lot of information, and I know I kind of stumbled over what I was saying a little bit, but I really want to hit home that the developers here, the designers here, have really created something unique in the form of the skill bag. What you put in the skill bag will depend on what captain that you start with, and you can add more skills into the bag based on what officer you choose or recruit. You can do different things on the table, explore different areas on the table, upgrade your ship to a whole new ship with different abilities and things like that, all the while trying to make discoveries and beating your opponents at gaining that fame and fortune. So is this game good? Yes, this game is great. I really enjoy the skill bag mechanic. I enjoy that every time I play, I'm getting a different experience based on what officer I choose, what captain I choose, based on what my opponents choose, and based on where we're going on the board. Now, the rule book that I got in the prototype only had one map on the Atlas. I'm sure that there will be more when the game is actually released. I could actually see this game having maybe some homebrew, if they don't include it in the Kickstarter, some homebrew campaigns where you carry on your ship and your captain and your officers from game to game, exploring different things and such like that. I give it 2 thumbs up. I think this game is a real winner. I apologize if I didn't do a very good job explaining some of the mechanics of the game, but don't worry. Like I said, they have a really great little small tutorial on how the game is played out there on YouTube. Links to all that in the description below. Make sure you check out their Kickstarter on March 10th, just a few days away, and let them know that Daddy Louie sent you. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps us out a lot. Make sure that you share it with your friends, family, and your nerdy communities. If you have any videos that you would like featured on our page, just hit us up on the comment section, social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We would love to hear from you and love to collaborate with you. Also, don't forget that we have a podcast, comes out every week on Tuesdays, called The Cosmic Disaster Show. You can find that right here on YouTube or on any platform that you enjoy listening to podcasts. And for an extra bit of love and affection, please make sure that you check us out over on Patreon at patreon.com/circleofnerds. Anyway, guys, that's all from me. I will see you in the next video.